So for poor people, sectors don't matter. The health and economic responses and impacts come together and have interacting consequences. So we really need to look at it from a people perspective.
Even though food is deemed essential, I think what we're seeing now is that food security is not shielded from this crisis. Even though urban areas are affected worse, we're seeing spillover effects into rural areas and a decline in rural welfare. And going forward, we know there are going to be even more needs, but with even fewer resources. And so we need to stay focused on prioritization and helping governments recover. Thank you.
The world has made a lot of progress on nutrition, as have countries like India. It's really important that we keep our eyes on the ball on that as well as the COVID-19 situation evolves, because we certainly can't afford a backsliding on something as critical for human capital development as nutrition. Thank you.
So in China, the COVID-19 has landed a heavy blow to SMEs, which generate huge number of employment. Although in China, COVID-19 is under temporary control, SMEs still face headwinds because of disruptions in global supply chain, also decline in external demand. So we do pay more attention to SMEs in China, also in other countries.
So the COVID-19 crisis is really a global crisis, and I think it has put even more light on the problem of inequalities we have within countries and across countries, actually, and how we are going to manage this question of inequalities, especially in the coming years when we will have to deal with all the debt that we are generating today, because part of the world is living on debt today, not only the SMEs, but also government. That will be key. So how we deal with inequalities to be ready for the next crisis, I think, is for me the most important thing we have all to think about. And of course, in a globalized world, how we share and with solidarity financially, but also through trade leakages, it will be key.
Let me just end with a few words on the work of IFPRI in this world, in this COVID world. I think research is very important right now, just to bring out more information, more insights, things not just what the best policies are, but first of all, what is going on. As Purnima has very nicely illustrated, it's very hard for research to go out. We see research itself is heavily affected. We rely very heavily on field experiments, on surveys, etc. All this is also disrupted them. So I've been very impressed with the entrepreneurship and the innovation that our IFPRI researchers, but also the partners we work with, our donors, have basically shown over the past couple of months. And I want to thank all of them, and I hope that we can continue to do as good research as possible to provide information into both for the people themselves and also for those who have to make important policy decisions. Thank you.